talk about the theory of the primacy of consciousness. We all know what consciousness is, because if I ask you, are you conscious? The answer must be, inevitably, yes. So, although it seems esoteric, the study of consciousness, it's only because you've been conditioned to navigate, move through the world based upon an external focus, an environmental focus. But if the mind turns inward and asks itself, am I conscious? That inward turning, that inward awareness of yes, establishes the primacy of consciousness. So we know that there can't be any perception of the environment or any initiative without a conscious awareness of the events transpiring not only in the environment but within us, as far as our motivation, our intention, and the ability to judge the efficacy of a plan, the ability to judge the moral value of a feeling. All this takes place, and it only takes place because I am conscious. And not only I am conscious, but we could take it one step forward and you could say I am consciousness itself. Because, again, the same example, in order to be alive, in order to know that I exist, is entirely dependent upon consciousness. So let's take it back to a primitive level, talk about a bacteria or an amoeba or a cell in your body. It's always spoken of in science as the cell knows how to find food. The cell knows how to avoid toxins. The cell knows how to send signals to the environment or to respond to signal in the environment. So we ask ourselves a simple question: what is it that knows? Now you will say, of course you might say, well, an amoeba or a cell is not conscious, in the sense that as I am aware of being alive, and I am aware that I must die. In that sense, it's not conscious. But it is that, if we repeat the question, what is it that knows how to navigate and respond to the environment? Respond appropriately to the stimulus. That's information. That's a code, a stream of information embedded in the organism. But not only embedded in the organism, it is embedded in the environment as well. There's nothing that's separate from this flow of information. There's nothing that exists that's separate from this flow of information. So when we say information, to form a structure within, in form, what is it that knows? That's the question. So we can say, one theory is to say, we say the primacy of consciousness is that consciousness is what knows. Again, not conscious that I am Norman driving this truck, but consciousness as an analogous to or identical with a flow of information within a system and without a system, and the interaction and relationship between the organism and the environment within a system, a complex system. So the most logical explanation for this is to identify that knowledge, that information, as a universal field of consciousness itself, of which humanity is the highest form that we know. The development and the structure of our mind, and the fact that we can be aware of what takes place in the mind is the highest form of consciousness that we know. But it's not inseparable from the simplest form of consciousness that we know, which is perhaps the firing of neurons in the brain is one simple element of consciousness. So, simply because it's all part of, it all is information as energy. It's all an energy transformation. So physics are finding that energy and information are the same in this sense. Energy taking a specific shape within the universe as a structure formed by information, a code of information. So that's the primacy of consciousness. And we see it everywhere around us. Ask yourself how a partridge or a pheasant knows how to it's pretending that it's injured to fool the fox, to follow it instead of eating its young in the nest. So that pheasant has to know what it's like to be injured, how it would move were it injured. It has to know that the fox will respond in a certain way, that the fox will be duped, will be fooled by its behavior. This is a complex system of behavior, and we find it everywhere in nature. But what is it that knows? The pheasant doesn't know, I'm doing this now, I'll do this next. It's just a flow of information. It's consciousness.